I'm kind of like interrupting the cute little intro a bit, I guess. Essentially, I just wanted to provide a bit of context for these two matches I'm going to be showing you guys today, because these are completely different to kind of my other videos and stuff like that. The reason is because these recorded off stream, so I've had to re-record them using the kind of like replay viewer and stuff like that, which is why on the second match you will see the end, like, you know, the enemies kind of like hero outlines. I know, I'm sorry, I forgot to change it. So I'm just going to provide like a cute little bit of like commentary, and let me know if you guys kind of like enjoy this, whether you guys, whenever I do any kind of like games off stream, you want me to kind of, you know, just do it without my voice if you guys don't like my voice for some reason. But yeah, so I'll kind of like just get into like commentating it all, I guess, essentially. I just want to basically provide context for this first little bit, which is this res. So as you can see, obviously I go for the res. I thought my Ryan was going to like pin in because I thought he just like stand there like with his shield and allow me to res my AlphaAli so we could like top him back up and everything. That just didn't happen, but it's fine. We don't really tend to make too many like silly mistakes and stuff like that for the rest of this match. But in mind, we are pink as well in this one because unfortunately we're on the red team, but I've got my colorblind settings changed to pink. I just really prefer it because I feel as though it stands out a lot more. But anyways, I'm just healing up Ryan here. We are running AlphaAli Mercy, so it means there's not a lot of healing for my Ryan, which basically means my Ryan wants to go in aggressive. We have to kind of like help him with that. Arna was shooting me from behind, so I wanted to rotate round. I tried to topple my Ryan, but there's a lot of like damage, and I ended up kind of messing up my J a little bit to go and damage boost the AlphaAli. But it's fine because I could follow up on it by like going with my soldier. Obviously I'm just healing my Lara before I can go back to my soldier basically. I'm just kind of like flicking on the damage boost wherever I can because obviously, you know, he's being like with the dynamite and everything. And at this point I'm just trying to like, you know, help with the damage boost, just making sure he still tops it up. Obviously the Honor is in there, so we basically have to go for her. Damage boost the Ryan as he comes in for the pin because obviously, you know, we want to try and get rid of that Ryan as quick as we can kind of thing. And obviously me damage boosting that pin is going to, you know, increase the damage that Ryan does to it. Might not, you know, full shot him, but you know what, doesn't really matter. At this point I'm trying to push up with my soldier. This is because obviously they have respawn and stuff like that. We end up actually getting the soldier on, which is pretty huge. I'm not like kind of like extending out here. I'm literally playing as safe as I can. I literally see he gets picked off and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm safe. I'll go in, I'll see you later. Going back to my AlphaAli kind of thing. Going to go damage with the Ryan fire strikes though, and then at this point, whenever my Ryan's like trying to go in aggressive, obviously he gets pinned, so I'm like trying to heal him right now. But when my Ryan goes in aggressive, like with his fire strikes and stuff like that, I'm trying to click on the damage boost as much as I can, just so I can get as much damage output as I possibly can, basically. So I'm just going back for like a little flank, I guess. So I'm gonna go with him. I'm basically just like using my GAs to kind of like cross the doorways, just because I purely do not want to just be walking across because it makes me very vulnerable. As soon as soldiers get anti, I'm gonna like, you know, click onto the damage boost beam because, you know, healing him is not going to do anything. Just gonna chill it out here. I try to help Ryan because I can see his shields breaking. Obviously Laura's running out of heals right now. Just go and help my May a little bit. I end up seeing that Laura's like really weak, so you can just see me like panicking with my camera, like, no, my Laura, like kind of being like trying to, what's it called? Trying to make sure she's okay. Obviously trying to top people up. I was trying to let Laura get ult there as well a little bit, which is why I kind of like held off on the healing wise and stuff like that because I have my bulk. And then yeah, essentially I just kind of hold up here on top with my soldier. I don't need to be looking at kind of like who's going to be coming in because I know where they're going to be coming in from. They're going to be coming like from like the two little doors and stuff like that. So I can essentially chill here with my soldier. I feel I obviously going to go damage to my AlphaAli, but as that happens, my soldier drops, which is like fine because obviously, you know, I can get at least like a bit of damage, but it's not like I'm missing out on like all the damage boost. I drop down obviously to go and help my soldier. Realize my Ryan needs a bit of help. I went to go get the Mercy, but she ended up getting picked off, which is a little bit annoying. You end up seeing that Mercy, by the way, coming at me in a bit, which was very funny to watch. But anyway, so obviously I'm going to push it with my soldier. Once again, I don't want to be like fully down there unless obviously when he starts pushing them like really aggressively and stuff, I don't want to be in there with him. Obviously now I kind of have to. Try to crouch spam whenever I end up kind of like crossing it a tad bit. I don't, like, at this point I don't really know which side to play on because obviously they have the hit scans on one side and the other people on the other. At this point I just kind of go to point just to make sure we have 3 ons to try and get it in as quick as possible so they don't get a recontest. I'm just going to, once again, kind of push out. I know that they're going to have like hit scans and stuff on the high ground, so I'm just going to, you know, just play out of that LOS basically. Just at any point just try not to be in there. End up cancelling my GA because obviously my soldiers ended up running past, so I'm like, okay, better stay where I am kind of thing. Don't want to be like GA'd out to like random open. Topping up my May, obviously trying to help top up my Ryan as well. At this point I kind of like feel as though I could have had like a bit better movement, like I could have like just played exactly where I was and everything. I'm trying to like play so like each side of this, you know, like the payloads and also the people behind can't really get to me. And just kind of play back. Obviously I end up picking the winner, just let them know. AlphaAli doesn't really hit anyone, but I decided to bulk here. The reason why I bulk, by the way, is just purely because everyone's like very, very split. So obviously I still want to be like with my soldier. Pull the Glock away, the aim is not there today. So yeah, I essentially just wanted to pop it just to kind of like make sure that, you know, people were like, I could basically help like both sides basically. That's what I'm trying to like get out. At this point I was like trying to see whether I could get the Widow, and now I'm just waiting for my soldiers to come and pick me up because it's very safe for me. It's very about the time. We're just on the team wipe and everything. Then yeah, and then essentially at this point, I'm just kind of like pinging the Ryan just to let people know, like, hey, the Ryan's here, you know, like, he's going to be starting to push from here. I'm playing it inside as much as I can just because I don't want to put that Ash or anything like that. My soldier decides to carry on this, you know, playing up here. It's kind of like my job, it's very much the time just to stay up with my soldier and allow him to have this advantage, because unless if he gets contested, he can essentially just like rain down. And then at this point, we're just going to clear with staggers. I end up pinging the Ash because I feel as though my soldier kind of like, you know, lost her attack a little bit, and we end up kind of like capping it really, really quickly. It ended up being like quite a competitive map, I remember, from like as we carried on. But to be honest, I'm recording this like 2 weeks after I actually played this match, so I'm like, I don't really know too much exactly what have happened and everything. But I'm just kind of like remembering from the top of my head, basically. So yeah, just a quick like thing as well about you know, like doing the after kind of like talking about this, and let me know what you guys think about it, whether you guys want me just to, you know, put on like some nice music and have like some text commentary, or if you guys really enjoy kind of like me going back and like giving my thought process. I'm sorry if as well if I'm talking quite quickly. It's just because the games happen quite quickly, and also I have a really bad tendency of talk like really, really fast. So I do need to like stop doing that. But yeah, no, let me go what you guys like. Obviously, if you guys want to see more off-stream games and stuff like that. I forgot to mention as well, I am duoed in this match. I'm duoed with Zeldris. I think Zeldris was on May. I think for the first bit. In fact, I think both games I'm duoed with Zeldris. Which obviously, if you guys watch all the streams and watch my TikTok stuff like that, you will see Zeldris quite often. Zeldris is basically always there. But anyways, obviously we're coming on to this attack. I got a really good bulk on this attack, actually. I do remember. Sorry, defense even. We're defending. I get a really good bulk, which I'll kind of like. If you guys actually watch TikTok, you guys would have seen this already on TikTok at some point. But anyway, so obviously we're getting ready to start. I'm looking to see whoever's like gonna, you know, start up top. Sometimes Ryan's, I was just, you know, saying hello to my soldier. Sometimes Ryan's will, what's it called, like, want to go up and like do some fire strikes and stuff. At that point I was crouching, also like letting go of my beam, just because A, it's on a nighttime map, so the beams can be like really like easy to see. But also I'm very much kind of just, you know, making sure that we don't get caught out, and you know the beam also makes like a little bit of noise. I could res it really nicely as well because Ryan, what's it called? Ryan had his shield up and everything like that, so it was fine. I was trying to help my Alari out. The issue is that I have with this point is that I don't want to be like crossing over to where my Alari is. I very much want to kind of stay on this side as much as I can, which is why you kind of like see me like using my extended beams as much as possible. I'm having my ride here because obviously my soldier's out of LOS. I just want to like do a little backwards J, just kind of like back myself off. Realize my soldier's cool with me, so it's fine. Obviously staying with my Rhine up until my soldier has that really good advantage, and I can go up and like kind of like help him pop the top. I don't mind kind of like pressing forward a little bit now because obviously we've got rid of that Widow. Going for the Orisa. I think at this point I just ended up kind of like pistoling the Orisa because I was like, oh, you know what, got it out anyways, and I'm, you know, helping like try and clear her up, so it's absolutely fine. And we ended up kind of doing a clear team wipe. I push up here with my soldier because obviously, you know, I want to get the damage boost in, and also I want to allow my Alari to get her ultimate with the Ryan. So I just allow my Alari to heal up while I go and push up with my soldier. Obviously same thing again, just end up kind of like backing out a little bit here. I'll heal up Ryan here just because, you know, want to make sure he's like getting up quite a lot, and also my, what's it called, my Alari is being very aggressive here. At this point I stay main just to kind of like help my Alari because I can rotate differently to my soldier, so it means that I can, you know, try and like keep up my beam time as much as possible, and then I go up here. I really love playing off this side, by the way, whenever I play on this map. The reasoning is because, oh hold on, this is the point. Alright, so damage Mr. Alari up. I go to go and res soldier, and then Zol just tells me, oh, like the life move is like really one. Bam! I'm just gonna go in there, just go get it myself. That Orisa is not gonna help protect you, my friend. And then obviously we kind of like stabilize a bit now. I can't remember what I was saying now about the thing that I was going to, but I thought it was a really good play, and I love like putting it on TikTok and everything. And there's me clipping it for a TikTok, by the way. It's the funniest thing, like whenever I like obviously go and like clip something. I couldn't get the ping off, so I ended up just like shaking my head at my ride, like, no, I don't have res. Which is fine because my Alari dies in just a second and I can res that. Once again, I should have probably pinged that as well just to make sure my ride didn't end up backing off a lot. That's kind of like my bad. So I'm just looking to see who has my best like kind of damage to target right now, and it's Alari. Obviously, Orisa comes in, so I'm just going to try and help my Ryan out and see if I can get him out if I can. I can't. I'm not going to cross in though because that would just like death to me, so I'm going to walk around the safer way, go and help my soldier. Just kind of like play with him for a second. I see there's an honor on the other side, so I'm like, ah, but I end up like, you know, damaging the soldier. And then this little soldier gives me a little heal pad as well. He's so sweet. Anyways, obviously we're going in with like a I think it's a visor right now. By the way, I'm replaying this without sound, so I cannot like hear any of it. But anyways, I do end up you know, trying to help my Ryan. Basically, I'm trying to make sure it's like full HP so we could like go and contest. But we just end up contesting. There's no point resing AlphaAli because we're just gonna we're just all gonna like run onto basically. So this is me basically trying to keep my distance from my Ryan, whilst also like, you know, trying to keep him out. I just want to like basically get him back as quick as I can, because if any of us get staggered right now, it's not going to be great. Me just saying as well, saying hello to my Ryan. I'm going to let him go up the lift, but I can, you know, just GA up and also like keep my distance and everything. And I could just like stay up here. At this point, I kind of like just end up just staying up with my Ryan, just kind of like waiting for my team. There's really too much I can do right now. I don't want to drop down to my hands though, because it'll put me in really bad LOS. I end up just kind of like vibing up on this high ground with my soldier again. Obviously, just kind of like flicking onto my Ryan to see whether he needs help. And then at this point, I saw my Ryan pin in. I was like, okay, we need to help my Ryan. And then commence operation try to keep my Reinhardt up, because this, honestly, I don't know how I'd ever managed to keep him up, but we did, like, somehow. I ended up basically using the entirety of my belt to keep him up, but it got value. Like, my belt got value. We ended up, you know, winning the team fight. And honestly, if you do end up kind of heal botting like certain like situations, stuff like that, my main key thing with like quote unquote like, you know, heal botting and stuff is, as long as you're like, what's it called, as long as it's for a reason and you're not just doing it because, you know, you know, got nothing else to do kind of thing, then, you know, it's completely fine. Also, I did go and damage boost the AlphaAli by the way. AlphaAli is really, really good to go and damage boost for a roll. You don't need to damage boost the entirety of a roll, you could just damage boost the first bit. And then this is the beginning of the Mercy coming in extremely aggressively like that. Obviously, a risk comes in for all, she gets 2. I'm like, yeah, nah, we're not, like, what's called, we're not winning that. So obviously, I'm just going to leave my Ryan now, which is best that obviously he resets and just dies. I'm just going to head back as quick as I can. I do have a bit of wonky positioning right now. I should have actually ended up in the room a little bit quicker than what I did, but I ended up in there, so it's all good, no worries. And then at this point, I'm just trying to like working with my soldier. I end up kind of going around to obviously the opposite side. AlphaAli can help my Ryan that's main and everything, because we just want to take this really nice off angle and get their sojourn. I do end up kind of like pushing up a little bit, and at this point I end up getting like body shot by the Widow. This is completely my bad, because I did not know where she is, and I should have definitely played a little bit more safer than what I was doing. At this point I kind of like realized that she is on that high ground, so I do end up kind of like crouching down and staying. The reason why I don't want to GA forward, by the way, when the Widow grapples up like that, is because if I just GA straight forward, it's a complete like straight line fully into like her face, so she can very much easily track me and just headshot me really easily. Compared to if I just stay where I am and crouch down, it makes me a lot more unpredictable. At this point, I go to damage with my AlphaAli on the high ground. This is just purely because my soldier's going to go rotate. It also tells me that his visor's ready, so I'm like, okay, like I understand, I'm ready to kind of like damage boost that. So I'm just going to stay with my AlphaAli, damage boost her up until my soldier gets back, go peel for my Hanzo a little bit. And then at this point, I kind of like just let turret heal deeper a little bit. As soon as she goes in, I try to help her out. Comes back, she's quite critical, so I just want to, you know, help, like, you know, she's like quite safe and everything. At this point, I'm just going to play on this high ground with my soldier. I only like try to just GA as soon as he gets to that end side, because I don't want to be GA when he's like not wanting to rotate and stuff like that. At this point, AlphaAli uses ult, and I managed to damage boost it. And I kind of like hold off on the Valk, because you don't want to use both of your support ults at the exact same time. So I was very much kind of like holding back, although just in case it got really good picks. It didn't, so I decided to follow up with a Valk. And then at this point, I'm looking for a res, but I can't really get it. I see my soldiers coming up, and at this point, I have to make the decision of going with my soldier, because my AlphaAli's just used her ult, and also my soldier has his ult right now. So I end up kind of like committing with that. However, sadly, we don't end up getting up to the point of, you know, we end up kind of like C9 it a little bit, but it's fine. You know, we do end up kind of getting all the clear ups and everything, so we can hold this kind of like chokehold like really, really nicely. Just gonna heal up my diva as well. And we can like hold the choke, which is really, really nice here. I do have some really wonky positioning. I'll show you. I think, yeah, now. You never ever want to play on this side whenever their spawn's there. And I end up kind of like, oh my gosh, they got size. So I'm going to flick away and like flick my headbox away, just kind of make sure I'm like, you know, my head hitbox is like not going to be able to hit by the Widow. But I should have definitely been positioned better on like the opposite side. Here's me trying to, you know, get my diva out. I help AlphaAli though, like, you know, AlphaAli is like more of a priority for me, because obviously it's like 2 seconds now for a health regen to come in. I back off because obviously, you know, I want to like play as like far away as I can. See soldier going back in, so obviously I go back in with him. Just gonna like play off to the side. I end up backing off. Oh, and then if this is the Arista ult now, I need to know how it this hits me, right? Because this is the Mercy, by the way. Comes absolutely for me. I'm like, oh, right, okay, right. I am behind this wall. Oh wait, it's not this bit. Hold on. It's very professional over here, honestly. Oh yeah, no, it's this bit. I would love to know how that ult hit me, because I watched the replay stuff as well, and she probably like drags me like from behind the cover and everything, and I was like, what? Like, how does that hit me? But anyways, it's all good. You know, they got 30 seconds, so it means that even if they do end up capping it, it's going to be either a draw or a win for us. So I suppose I'm feeling very, very chilled right now, but definitely want to win it. I got to go in damage boost my baby diva because she needs mech, but obviously she ends up backing off, so I go in aggressive with my soldier, trying to damage boost him as much as possible. Kind of like jiggling between like the healing and damage boost whenever Zarya is like, you know, using her bubble is quite high charge like that. And then we just end up kind of just winning it, just steamrolling them at this point. And yeah, that was basically the first match. Woo. Okay, and then this is the second match. Now, this was actually one of my very first Flashpoint games of like when it like came out obviously into comp and stuff like that. So I played very little of it, so I'm still trying to, you know, like learn the maps and stuff like that, which you'll see quite like well in this match basically. Skin, by the way, is the Overwatch 1 Vancouver Titans away skin, because I know a few people ask like what the skins are and stuff like that. Also in this match, I do accidentally leave on the hero outlines for on like the replay viewer and stuff like that. So you guys will kind of like see where the enemies are as well. I need to turn it off, but I forgot, and then you know the game updated, so I can't get any of it back. But anyways, we're keeping Zeldris again. Zeldris on Sojourn this time, so he's going to be my main believing target. At this point, I obviously don't really want to like be, you know, with everyone. Alari ends up getting picked off by the Junkrat, but I can res it really, really nicely with my Sojourn, you know, like playing the, you know, quite passively there kind of thing. Obviously I'm trying to help her, especially with them sim turrets and everything. As soon as Bull kind of like tries to get out, I try to get my beam on him, but it's like sadly a bit too late for him. I tried just to help my Sojourn, just try and get out basically. I should have done the slingshot a bit further back here, but I, you know, end up just trying to use my cover as much as I can to try and help. Alari's just going to die there because obviously I can't really do anything about it, so I'm just going to top up my Tracer, and I'm just going to play with my Sojourn. Essentially, we just want to like hold space here. Like if we end up dying or getting staggered here, it's going to be really, really bad for us. I'm just going to play like far away. Damage boost my Sojourn to basically, you know, like apply that pressure and stuff like that. Just gonna once again try and be like one step ahead of my Sojourn and just playing really far back so I don't end up taking too much damage from the D.Va as well. At this point, obviously, I'll just try to like play with my Sojourn. I go top up my Winston so we can like go and dive in like really nicely, you know, with like health and stuff like that. But the two people end up getting picked off by the Junkrat, which is like really, really annoying. And then obviously, you know, I'm just playing back with my Sojourn, end up backing off a bit. At this point, I popped my Vault because I thought that we could like maybe win it. I ended up getting caught out by this, you know, the little Sunstruck ultimate. I don't know what the ult's called. This is me like trying to like maybe back out the point, but I don't end up getting it, and then I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna give up, just gonna die. I think this is personally a really bad Valk in my opinion, because I feel as though I panicked and kind of like just used it because the D.Va was diving me. I think I could have definitely just, you know, like allowed us just to die and then maybe like regroup and get a new like attack at some point, but yeah. But anyways, it's alright, we learn, we go, it's all good. Now, Flashpoint caps like really, really quickly, so at this point, like, I'm like, okay, we don't need to go in here. And then my D.Va decides to go in, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, this is fine. Like, because obviously, we can't contest that, we can't get in, so we just need to, like, you know, like, play for the next point kind of thing. So at this point, we're playing without a tank, so I'm like trying to figure out, like, what's the best way that I can get out. Where, obviously, unfortunately, on the replay view, it doesn't actually show you, like, where the new points are and stuff like that. I end up kind of, like, just leaving my Sojourn because, obviously, you know, I can't really help her. I'm, like, backing off, like, really, really far because, obviously, I don't really want to, like, you know, get picked off and stuff. So, I'm, you know, just end up kind of, like, getting back with my Alari, and now I'm just going to, like, rotate back with everyone. I'm playing, like, really, really passively right now because I don't want to, what's called, I really don't want to get picked off while we're trying to, like, rotate back here because it's going to be absolutely horrendous for us trying to recontest here. I end up kind of, you know, messing up my GA a little bit, but it's fine because we had our beam on, so it's all good. And I'm just going to help people attack in here right now, helping my D.Va try and, like, get some health back up, ends up getting D-Max again, but it's fine. I can res it here, though, because I could hear everyone was still, like, quite far away and still trying to cap the point, so I can still, like, help cap it. I now just want to go with my Sojourn, obviously pinging that the Sims, like, TP'd right there as well, so in case she doesn't end up taking the TP but we destroy it, then we could definitely, you know, capitalize on that. I play really far back here because obviously I don't want to get picked off or anything like that. Alari's using her ult, but I'm just kind of like leaving her to it, and then the Junkrat Ties comes for us. So overall, it's not been a really strong game so far, but I feel as though I'm kind of like doing, you know, I'm doing what I should do, and that's completely fine, you know. There will be games like that where, you know, you do try your best and you do like as much as you like possibly can, and you just cannot really do anything more, sadly. But you know what, we're just going to regroup, try again. You know, don't get yourself tilted. It might still be winnable. In fact, we do end up winning this one, just as a little, like, you know, sneak peek and everything like that. But as we're going back in, obviously, you know, go with Sojourn. The reason I go with Sojourn is because I know my Sojourn nearly has her ultimate. So I definitely want to, like, try and go in and, like, be aggressive with that. Helping top up my, my cast before, obviously, you know, going back in with my Sojourn. I realize my Lauri's not here, by the way, as well. So I'm trying to, you know, keep half an eye on my, my D.Va as well. I do end up kind of like messing up my GA a little bit here, trying to follow up on my Sojourn, which is a little bit frustrating as well, but it's fine. We'll try and damage as much as possible. And then here I'm trying to bait out the res because I don't actually want to go for the res because the Junkrat's definitely going to two-shot me. And then I try my best to try and go get it as soon as we get him, but it's unfortunate we can't really get to it. But it's all fine, it's all good. And we'll just end up kind of recapping. So we'll cap it anyways and just kind of playing. And then at this point, our cast uses High Noon. You'll hear it in a second, yeah. And just all of us just stood there like, why have you used that? But it's fine. We're just down an ultimate for the next fight. It's okay. And obviously I'm just going to play like really far back. When my Sojourn kind of like rotates to that kind of like far side, I will rotate with her as well, which I think is what I do in a second. Because obviously I'm going to be out of beam range. I'm going to try and like stay within that beam range as much as I can. Yeah, it's this bit. I end up kind of like rotating around. I see and like hear the Junkrat, so I try to like ping him out in a second. So my cast hasn't fallen into it, so obviously I rotate back around. But I think this is definitely winnable with my Valk, so obviously I use it to try and like keep up my D.Va basically. If my D.Va kind of like stays up, this is definitely good big for us, but she ends up kind of using a bomb. At this point, I'm basically trying to keep her up as much as I can throughout that ultimate, and sadly I cannot. But it's fine. I end up going in to go and like help my Sojourn because my Laura's like really, you know, she's like completely fine at the very moment in time. So I do want to, you know, like try and help that. At this point, I'm holding the damage boost to try and like really threaten out that D.Va. So like she, you know, uses up the entirety of her DM. Crouching, obviously, you know, to like play away from D.Va bomb. And then I'm getting my head caught in the stupid little barrier. But it's fine. I want to res here, so because all of our team's together, and we do want to kind of like try and attack the next point all together, not be kind of like in all different places like staggered and stuff. So that's why I go for the res. And then obviously at this point we're telling everyone, you know, to group up, go to the next point rather than, you know, trying to chase them all into their spawn basically. So, you know, I do end up kind of like going around and going with my Sojourn all the way to the next point as quick as we can. I'll just take a quick breather. I'm trying to ping everyone, by the way. This is purely because obviously, you know, me and my Sojourn, we have comms and we can like see them, but like the rest of our team can't see basically, so we're like trying to, what's called, let them know. I thought my D.Va was going to back out a little bit to go to the healing Python, but it's not really happening, but it's fine. Because I'm just going to like go in like really aggressive and damage with my Sojourn here, just so that she can like, you know, because she's wanting to be aggressive, so I need to like follow up on that aggression. I can't just like abandon her. Just kind of like play up on the tiny little, like, you know, the little like, I don't even know what it is. It's like a little drum thing, you know. My team is basically capping the point right now, so obviously I'm just trying to keep up my Sojourn, trying to decide whether like Zeldris wants to basically play. Obviously we're trying to get Cass out right now, and I can see my Sojourn wants to play up here, so obviously I'm going to follow up on that with like my Sojourn basically. Obviously go and help my Cass, just, you know, just try and heal him up. Also because I do kind of like want my ult at this point. Kind of like when I get to about 90, like 80, 90 is the point where I start like, you know, like really trying to heal up people, because obviously, you know, gets a little bit more ult charge from me and stuff like that, because I really do want my Valk. But obviously we're just playing down on this this kind of like pillar bit. Obviously people are starting to back off, so I've decided to back off. I decided to Valk because I feel as though they're going to start pressuring us in a second. My AlphaAli goes down. Unfortunately, I can't really help my D.Va here, so I just decide just to go and like start capping the point. She just ended up kind of getting out actually, which is really, really nice. And then this is kind of the point where I was meant to make a TikTok of it, but I didn't. So Cass ends up going for High Noon, so I try to damage boost as much as I can. End up hiding for the D.Va bomb. At this point, I do not want to res Cass. I actually want to go in and go help my team. At this point, I'm trying my best to get to Sojourn. Obviously, I end up kind of peeling the D.Va. And then my Sojourn says, can you res me? Can you res me? And I'm like, no, because a Soldier's like, sorry, what's called, a Sim's chasing me. If I stand still to go and get that res, I cannot help obviously follow up with all this damage that I'm doing right now, and I would have just like got a Sim like to my face, and I would have died basically. So it's better obviously, you know, trying to keep my D.Va up right now, playing as much cover as I can. Obviously D.Va goes to go back remech, and my AlphaAli is back, so I can be like try and help her out, try to help my D.Va get out, because I feel as though we're going for like a little like a soft reset right now, because we have all of our team back, which basically means we can now go in aggressive, and we've hardly lost any kind of like point. Also, we did also get to 99 with all that stall and everything, which is really, really nice. Obviously, I ended up kind of like bouncing away so I could avoid the AlphaAli. I ended up kind of like going in really aggressive with my Sojourn here. Picking the Sojourn just to make sure she kind of like knows where she is kind of thing. And then I just kind of like, basically just play off to the side, help my Sojourn get all these picks, heal up my AlphaAli when I get back. And we ended up kind of like capping the point. I think it's, you know, basically because of my my Valk. I was really, really proud of that one. And I was like, there's me trying to clip it for a TikTok and then realize it's way longer than 1 minute, which I was like really frustrated about. I was like, no. But anyway, so it's 2-1 now. As you know, it looks absolutely unwinnable for us from the first point, but we're definitely pulling it back now, which is really, really nice. Obviously trying to help with my AlphaAli, and we're pretty much at the next point already. We got really lucky with the rotation, that it was like really close to us and everything. Have my Valk, which I'll end up using in just a second when everyone's really split. But for now I want to play obviously off to the side with my Sojourn, flick it up over the cover, end up going to go and res my Cass as well while I'm doing it, because obviously everyone's like quite safe and being really passive and everything. helping obviously my AlphaAli back out, and then my Sojourn wants to go in really aggressive on this off angle. But I can see people need help on point, so this is the point where I end up, you know, popping my Valk, so I can kind of like manage my beams between the two parties a little bit better. Obviously, my main kind of like thing is to try and like still help with the flank with my Sojourn, but I do end up kind of like going onto the point a little bit more here because my D.Va's being really, you know, like hurt basically. Going to go damage with the L'Oreal and then go in with like everyone else. At this point, I kind of just end up like, you know, leaving my D.Va. But this is completely fine because my team wants to get picked, so we actually end up kind of clearing up the entirety of the team while like the D.Vas are fighting it out. So it's completely fine to leave my D.Va there because as well I have my res. I can go back and go and res her if needed. So at the start of this fight, essentially I want to try and get myself in like a better of a position, so I'm kind of like backing off so I can like go and damage use my D.Va basically. So this is just me kind of like just, you know, trying to get her, you know, trying to get her mech back. I thought my Sojourn was like going really aggressive, so I was like, oh my gosh, but no, she just end up. So you know, just quickly back myself away. Obviously heal up D.Va while she tries to get back in her mech. Obviously I'm playing like basically just like around this like little pillar thing. This point reminds me a lot of like one of the Nepal ones. So I was like trying to like, you know, play it like you would like with Nepal. But I don't know, as you can see, my position is a bit whack here because obviously I'm still trying to learn the position and everything, like where I should go and everything. I think I could have definitely played a little bit more closer to the ground, like how I am like with the pillars right now. Do end up getting hit with the stupid little Sunstruck ultimate. I do end up like trying to keep my Sojourn alive, but to be honest, when she gets hit like that and she's gonna die, I might as well just have left her and gone with my cast instead. That's kind of like a bad one from me, but of course this was like one of my first matches as well with a AlphaAli, so I was like, oh my gosh, peel for my AlphaAli because obviously, you know, she's getting dove and everything. At this point, I'm trying to like help out my cast more than my D.Va because my D.Va very much has free reign, you know, to like get her mech back. She's not going to struggle. Actually, my cast is going to do more damage. I end up letting my cast go for the flank because obviously I don't want to like base him out or anything. Once again, map knowledge is a bit abysmal because I do end up banging my head there a little bit. And then a huge D.Va bomb. Do not ask me how and if I got so many because all of us were like, huh, what? Pop my Falcon's little celebration and ended the match. So anyway guys, those were basically kind of like the two matches that I want to show you guys. I do have a few more as well that are kind of like off-stream games, so let me know if you guys enjoyed this format. Please as well give me feedback, you know, because I really enjoy kind of like getting feedback from you guys and knowing what you guys like and what you guys want to see and stuff like that, you know, to improve these videos and stuff like that. Please do let me know down below what you enjoyed it as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and I'll see you all later. No risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my